Greetings, brothers and sisters in Christ. We come to the 20th Sunday of Ordinary Time. We continue the Gospel of Luke, and today we hear the famous and disturbing and wonderful line of Jesus, "I have come to cast fire upon the earth, how I wish it were already kindled." So this is an image of God that can be disturbing sometimes. So we can say before Vatican II, we often had an image that God is an angry God, or a God who punishes us, and a God who is judging us. So with that kind of an image, then our utter concern is, how do we get to heaven? How do we obey this God who seems to be stern? Looking back now, we say that God isn't stern and angry. God is incredibly loving. He's a parent who will do anything to get his children safe. Well, since Vatican II, we've talked about a kind and gentle God, almost to the extreme of saying that now everybody gets into heaven. And if everybody gets into heaven without us doing anything, then there's no need for the spiritual life. So there's dangers in both having God be too stern and too forgiving, if you will. God can never be too forgiving. He always forgives us if we're ready. But sometimes we can just think that God is nice and fluffy, and God is different than that. So today's gospel shows us a different image. So I've come to cast fire upon the earth. And the Greek word to cast is the word balein, like is the word from ballistics. So you imagine when people come and they thrust weapons into another territory for bombs to come into another area. That's the image. It's kind of startling because God is not a God of violence and war, but God is coming to do something into our world. And so Jesus says, "Do you think I've come to establish peace on earth? No, rather division. Households will be divided." So what is he getting at? One interpretive principle to understand this is, what does God's love look like in a world that has gone wrong? So we know original sin has led us astray, and we know that in our culture today, much is not right. And so from a world that's gone astray, for a world that has lost its way, the love of God can look like a disturbing power and presence. But the love of God is a love that is everlasting, a love that wants to come into anything disordered and put us right again. So again, I love the image of a parent who knows better than the child what to do to keep the child safe. And sometimes the child gets angry because the child thinks, I want to do this, I want to touch that hot stove. And the parent's like, no, I know better how to keep you safe. That's a way that helps me understand God's presence in my life. So God knows much better than I do what I need for my salvation and for my safety. And so I need to listen to God. And if God is calling me to change my course, to correct my life in some way, then I need to be willing to do that, especially if I don't understand why. That's the trust in our God. So the love of God is everlasting, a parent who will do anything for you to keep you safe. So let us let God cast fire into our life, disrupt anything we don't need, and bring us back to God's everlasting goodness. So God bless you. Have a good week.